Good morning, everyone. Good morning, James. Good morning, Bumcrack. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Good morning, Lag. Yeah, that's right, Lag. Whatever makes me uncomfortable. Um, as you know, Todd is on the road today, off with his bride. She has a business meeting she had to go to, so she's gone. So he went with her. He'll probably come back with a carload of stuff. Um, Good morning, Kathy. I'm just going to say right now, here is the link. Well, I posted the link up there. The link's posted. If anybody wants to join, yeah, he left his high karate at home today because he's probably venturing into new territory. Good morning, Vintage. Hope you're having a good morning. Kathy, thanks for the link to the metal building people. We've been browsing. I don't. Nah, he's off gallivant today. Um, which we had windstorms bad last night, which I think was making its way across Tennessee and into North Carolina. And we lost power for about 6 hours, and it finally came back. It's supposed to have come back on about 1 o'clock in the morning, but it came on about 6. Hey, Kathy,
You.
I'm doing good. It's great seeing you. How's things in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can everybody hear her in the chat?
Man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, making sure. I can't stay too long, but I figure I'd jump in for just a few minutes with you.
Well, that's good. I appreciate it. It's been such a long time since I've seen you.
I know it's been a while.
Yeah, I know y'all are building houses and everything else. Vintage says she hears you.
Okay, good. Making sure my headset's kind of funky, so. But no, you're welcome for the link.
It's so your mother or your mother-in-law already lives in one of them, correct?
My mother-in-law does,
Your
yeah.
mother-in-law does.
Yeah, they're just like little studio apartments. Uh, that's just like that has a bathroom, kitchen. But the bathroom is the only thing that's actually, walled off. Everything
Right,
else is kind of like an open base. So,
right. Well, we've been looking for something like that for my two single sons,
right.
because they're either not when they're at home, they're sitting at their computer. So all they need is a place for a queen size bed, a bathroom, a little kitchenette, a place for their desk, and maybe a couple of chairs if somebody does happen to stop by.
Yeah, I mean they're very comfortable and no lag. They don't have a basement. We don't have basements here in Mississippi. We have storm shelters. And we can't. There's some places in this part of Mississippi that does have basements, but it's very few.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean it's like out here, down around the coastal areas. You do not have basements
mm-mm.
because the water table is like 18 inches under the ground.
Right. But
But
yeah, it's there. I mean, hers is set up. It's 625 square foot. We just did a 25 by 25. And she has like her living room up front, her bedroom's right behind it. and then
Right.
her kitchen's on one side, and then she has her bathroom. And then she has like a little area for her card stuff that she does.
Right.
So I mean they're very efficient, and we actually didn't do because we have no ducts in the house, like ducking for air conditioner. We
Right.
did the I can't think of what they're called right now off the top of my
Is
head.
it the like there's a it's a little unit that goes on the
Yeah,
wall?
yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
and they work great for there. They have dehumidifiers, air conditioner, heat, and it works perfect year round for her. We've had no problem. We spray foamed those
Right.
um, to keep, for help, especially in Mississippi. But the one thing I will suggest
Right.
is when it rains on top of those, it is loud as all get out. So you might want to try to see if they can put something up there to like a noise cancellation paint that they can put
Right.
up there, which we're looking to get into to see. But yeah.
It's good morning, Mr. Sadie.
Good morning, Mr. Sadie.
Um,
Hellfire.
Hellfire, that's right. It, but that apartment here in Charlotte would cost them about $1,000,
Right.
and you know the hard part is buying dirt
Mhm.
in in Charlotte. That's the expensive part. Um, so you know we've looked at several different things.
We
Trying to
got lucky with this one because the guy had had it for 10 years, and it was a phase 2 of the subdivision, and it had 8 plots of underground power where
right,
you could put 8 houses, and
right,
then it had all the water ran. So that just that alone saved us about 40,000 dollars.
right,
And we bought it for dirt cheap. We got it right before the housing boom hit. So we got lucky, but basically we own our own subdivision,
right.
which is cool. And the closest house to us is 17 acres away.
So are you eventually going to build a house out there?
Yes, we got their house is built. My son and his girlfriend is staying in my mom's one little house that she
Right,
had that we had for her. She's taking care of my grandmother.
right.
Um, no, I didn't buy it at dirt cheap, Kent. But I bought it dirt cheap. I bought dirt cheap. Hey, Bridget.
Yeah. Good morning, Bridget.
Um, but we're gonna build us. We're staying in an RV right now, and I
Right.
would not recommend that to anybody. It
You,
sucks.
I had a years ago. Well, it's been quite a while now, but I had a client that he and his wife and three sons took a year off and they rented an RV and they traveled for a year. And a year later, he came into the office and we're like, "What are you doing here? And you're supposed to be like in Arizona or someplace." He said, "F that." He said, "I love my wife and I love my children, but when that year contract on that RV was up, I was ready to get into back into our 3,000 square foot house, so I'd have a little space and my children would have a little space."
Oh yeah,
But he said they enjoyed it. 6 months would have been good, but then after it hit like 9 months and he was counting down the days, it just seemed like it took forever. But
yeah,
yeah, I hear. A friend of mine's son lives in their 32-foot long travel trailer in their
yeah,
backyard, and it's it's. I think it'd be okay for one person, especially if you're trying to save money,
yeah.
because you can buy a 30-foot travel trailer around here for $7,000, a really nice one.
Oh really?
Yeah, you could pay for that sucker in 6 months or if you couldn't pay for it at cash. It'd be something cheap for a young person or a single person to do, especially if they didn't know whether, like his son is not sure whether he's going to stay in the Charlotte area or whether he's going to go to their corporate office down in Savannah.
Yeah.
So, it's a good in between thing. We only
Yeah,
need it.
I mean, it's not bad, but you got to be able. It's a lot more to it than people say because you see all these videos, no, look at, I'm dancing around all happy. Like,
Right.
no, it's not that great. It
Spe-
is not.
Especially these folks that's got there's this one family, and I think they have retired from traveling. They had a huge fifth wheel,
Yeah.
and their kids had like a bunk room in the back, and everybody had a system for doing their chores and whatnot. That would be just too no.
Well, that's kind of what we have. We have a fifth wheel with a travel with a little toy hauler in the back,
Right.
and it has like that. But that's where the offices are at, and then the rest is, of course, where we're staying at. But I mean, it's kind of crazy too. So,
Good
but
morning, Craig. Well,
it's
you know,
kind of.
because people have talked about, especially back in the heyday of when Amazon FBA was huge.
Mhm.
We're going to just travel and we're going to
Yeah.
ship everything from the road and let FBA take care of it and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Um, some of these resellers would have to have they'd have to have their travel trailer, and behind it they would have to pull a semi trailer, for all
Right.
their Amazon, their eBay
Their
stuff.
eBay, that'd be us. It's like, yeah, I'll just go stay here or do that. It'd be easier. But that's what we were talking about, putting like one of those cargo shipping containers out here for our storage unit, and just putting like one of those little air conditioner units like we have in the houses down
Right.
there to keep it temperature controlled. So
My
yeah, I'm
brother
not
has
reselling from no tent. It's bad enough to try to resell from an RV. I am not doing tents no more ever in my life again. I'm too old.
my brother's got three of those containers on his farm, and
Yeah.
one of them is used for storing stuff. Another one, his wife and daughter are the executive directors of a animal rescue thing, so
Oh,
one of
nice.
them has all of their crap in it,
Yeah.
and the other one is just family stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the tent is the original mobile home, but no, my back hurts too much and I'm too old and I need AC in a bathroom. But no, I mean, we're trying to get back into it, a little bit and try to do a few things. But, when you're trying to deal with getting everything ready and find, a place to live. But I mean, we just kind of did the thing of we're going to put everything into it, build, grow, do our own vegetable stuff and start try to resell that way. So that way, when we retire, everything's paid for,
Right.
and I think it's just easier, especially with this day and age right now, because it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, uh, I tell my sons now, they're in their, my oldest one will be 20, 27 this year.
Yeah.
I said, you right now you need to be working towards retirement. Everything
Mhm.
you do needs to be about the time about when you do come about to retire, you're in the position to do so. Yeah, Kent, stuff, stuff, stuff. I looked up in our attic. When we first moved into this house, our attic was completely empty. Everything was
Yeah.
done on the first floor. And now there are boxes of kids' toys up there and books and all that kind of stuff because we hope one of these days we'll be grandparents
Yeah.
and we will
I
have
can loan you some of mine.
we'll have a yeah, you're you got a bunch,
Yes.
and be able to have like a playroom and put out their dad's toys and books and
I don't know.
things
You
like
probably need
that.
to look through some of those. You probably could resell and make some good money these
I've
days.
looked through some of them, and some of them would go for some fairly decent money, but I'll just leave that for them when it's their time to deal with it. It's like that. It's
Yeah.
some commercial on TV. This elderly lady opens up her garage door and she says, "One day, all of this will be yours."
Yeah, I don't want it. That's why I'm trying to teach my kids how to go resell. That way you have something to fall back on. But
It's
they're retiring in your house. Yeah, I know. That's why they can get their own houses.
yeah. Well, it's good that because as big property as you have, if you want all your kids living that close to you,
Well, yeah, and
you
that's
could
that's
you
the whole
could
purpose of it.
you could have a compound out there.
We do. That's what we call it. It's our little compound.
Build a couple more houses because you've got two children, and do you have two or three?
I have 3 and Marcel has 2.
Okay.
So we have 5 total kids together.
So that, you've
We
got all
got a
those
lot.
little plots out there. You could move them all in out there.
And that's pretty much what it's basically what we bought it for later to get, for them, and once we pass away it'll be some their future, cuz you can't buy land is hard to buy these days, and like I said, you got to make an investment in something because things are just not going to be the way that they used to be.
Yeah.
There's everything's just going up as the years go on. It seems like it's just getting worse.
We I went and
Y'all got to
looked at a
quit
piece of
licking
property.
windows.
I went and looked at a piece of property, and it's sloping. So you're gonna have to custom design a house on it. Everything
Yeah,
everything will have to have a walkout basement
right.
because it slopes. And it was 3 acres. A good bit of it's in floodplain, but I figured I could get two or three little houses on it. I'm talking when I say little houses, I'm talking about like a 25 by 25 footprint.
Right.
Go up 2 stories if needed be. Plus, it would have a basement. Um, and they were wanting almost $100,000 for this piece of property, and it's been on the market now for about 5 years because nobody wants to deal with it. Deal with the slope and that kind of thing. And so, I made them an offer, and they're like, "Oh, we can't take that." I'm like, "Okay, well, it can sit here because you've been paying it. The property taxes you've been paying on it now is more than the difference between what I offered and what your asking price is."
Eventually they will, because it's gonna eventually everything's gonna turn down. So
Well,
hopefully one day.
it is slowly coming down.
Yeah.
The house on the left of me sold for $386,000, and the house beyond it, which sold since that one sold, and is actually bigger than the one that sold for 386, only sold for 296 or 295
Yeah.
because property is coming down. Uh, it's just
It eventually all is gonna come down eventually. It's just gonna take time.
it's going to stabilize. It's got to, because if not, people nobody is going to be able to afford to buy property.
No. Hey, 24 and TZ. Oh, I was gonna say vintage. She says that she has a goal to a trash bag every 4 week and then taking it resell or donate to Goodwill. Have you ever thought about? I've been seeing a lot of people talking about sell or donating it to nursing homes because they have a lot of people that at nursing homes that like don't have family members and they have like old clothes and stuff like that. But I thought that was a pretty decent idea. I didn't, instead of Goodwill, since they're trying to make more money off of it than anything,
Don't get me
donate it to
started. My son
donate.
works for them, but don't get me started.
I know. I don't
It
even
it
like
kind of
shopping with them no more.
it kind of irritates me. Stuff that I have, like when I buy a storage unit and I have um, ladies' clothes in it, I go through it, and the nice stuff that could be like business casual stuff
Mhm.
that won't sell for anything, um, I'll have those cleaned and I take them up to the women's shelter and
Yeah.
donate them there, because they're trying to help these ladies get back into the workforce and stuff like
Right.
that, and gives them some nice, you know, relatively nice clothes to go out for interviews and whatnot. And I think that that's one thing, especially when people have got so much stuff,
Right.
is is to find that find some good places to put it, to give it, to donate it,
Mhm.
other than to thrift stores.
Right. And I thought that was a good idea because I never thought about doing that. And I was like, well, that's a true fact. You think about a lot of people don't come visit the nursing home.
Yeah,
If you have a lot of stuff that just really doesn't resell good, why not? Because they could probably use some of it. Because I mean, they don't have just older people a lot of times in those nursing homes. There's some that will have like I guess you could say disabilities that
right.
where the family can't take care of them, so they'll put them in nursing homes. Because when I used to work when I was way younger and I went through nursing school, I worked at a nursing home, and there was a young girl in there, and I was like, "Why is she here?" I was like, "Well, the family couldn't take care of her, so they put her in the nursing home," which
Right.
was really. But I mean, even there's some younger people that are there in some of these nursing homes, but it's like that's actually kind of interesting.
I donate when
Lag wouldn't make it in a nursing home 24. They'd kick him out in a
that's
day.
right.
Bless it.
When
He'd
he
be
started
licking
digging a
everything
basement, you
right
know
in the
that he's like a
basement.
vampire. He goes out into the daylight. He just about bursts into
Or-
flames. My
Right.
youngest, my youngest son works for a swanky nursing facility now. It's one of these where they have like duplexes at this end, and
Yeah.
at the far end is like the memory loss, that type of thing. You're on your way out. That's a bad way to put it, but that's about the way it is.
Right.
Um, I mean, it's like 5 grand a month for
Yeah, it's
in the
expensive.
nursing home,
Yeah.
and
They
but before that, when he was getting started in this industry, he worked for a smaller nursing home, and I sent you know Christian books, bodice rippers, all that kind of stuff up to the nursing home for their library, and I said ask them if they would want some romance novels. I call them bodice rippers, but because he always rips her bodice.
right.
um, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll take anything.
Oh, wow.
And so I send a lot of books up there. Um, if they have a need for clothes, the one he works at now, they don't deal with that kind of stuff because they're kind of they're for rich.
Weird.
It's for rich people.
Yeah.
I mean, I would if it's 5,000 for in the nursing home, I would hate to think about the memory care wing, how much it costs there, because they're on 24-hour lockdown there.
Oh, wow.
Um, or the apartments or the duplexes. I would hate to I would hate to think about what it costs there. And I don't see how they can afford it unless they are very wealthy. Um,
Oh, Vintage, you're in Memphis area? Oh, okay. I got you. Which one do you go to? Because there's one. I know that there's one in that over by Shelby and Winchester. I think there used to be one. I'm not sure if they're still there or not. It's been so long since I've been to Goodwill, so. But yeah, I mean, they do have a working poor in that community. As far as Memphis area, there's a lot there. I was
well,
just saying, and because some of the Goodwills are bad. I mean, I'm just
yeah,
gonna put it out there. They're trying to make too much money off of stuff that we give them, and I mean,
exactly.
I wish I'd have thought about it with storage units.
It's yeah, good. Okay,
Okay,
Goodwill's
24.
business plan, their 501c or whatever it's called, is
Mhm.
that they teach people a skill. That's their job. They teach them how to be a cashier and how to manage inventory. That's their deal. They're not there to help the poor. They're there to teach people how to get jobs because they do have job training and stuff like that to
Right.
get jobs and get out into the real workforce. I mean, that's what it's about. And now my niece works for Salvation Army, and she manages the shelter in Asheville. And she wears so many different damn hats, it's not even funny. So I donate stuff. She always said to me, "Do you ever if you come across any of this kind of stuff, I need it." So it gives me a good reason to make a tax deductible trip to up to Asheville and to see my in laws,
All right.
and because I am taking all that stuff up there to them.
Todd's checking into a home today.
Do I?
He goes, Lag says Tom's checking into a home today. He gonna need it after all this freaking driving around and all the boating he's going on.
It's well, he is just see, his wife has a business, and they're up there for a
Mm.
business meeting.
Yeah, she goes on a lot, and it's like I said, I don't have to travel. I just live my go through them with her pictures that she posts on there. So
Yeah.
that's the travel I'm going to do, and it costs me no money.
Friday a week we're going on
Right.
vacation.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, we're going on a cruise, and we're going from Charleston to like the Virgin Islands, way down, the lower part of the Caribbean. So it's basically a free trip. So
I would say don't do like those people and get stuck in off the boat because that's what happened with those couple in Africa. Like 8 people, they didn't make it back from their excursion in time, and
yeah,
phew,
and it's their fault. It's not the cruise line's fault because they
child.
would really, if the cruise line sat there and waited for them, that dock fee is just ticking on up
Yeah.
because they're paid to be there at a certain time and to depart at a certain time. And if they don't, if
Ah,
they don't, then they start getting added fees added onto it.
yeah.
Um,
Got you.
if it's through one of their if it's through one of their excursions, they'll wait and they'll pay the fee because it's their excursion. But these people were using an independent excursion and they didn't make it back in time, and so they got lost. If you want to,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
I
Yeah.
ain't never been on a cruise. I think I just keep myself here on the land. I'm good.
If you want to
That's
see,
what they were saying. They said it was their fault. And they think they took like 8 different boat trips to get to. They're back on the boat that they were at, but it took
yeah,
them like a whole bunch of stuff to get out of there. I was like,
it
yeah, that's why I don't go.
they had to bounce like through three little small airports and then take a
Oh,
ferry, and I mean that's just it. If you want to have a good laugh, watch on YouTube. They have what's called dock runners,
uh
and
huh.
it's people that's late or just about being late to get back to the ship, and they are running like crazy to get back to the ship because they're right
Yeah,
on the air.
I wouldn't want to leave the ship. Just in case I get late, that'd be my luck.
Um,
Insurance, yeah, I've heard of that, and I've heard that always to book your excursions through the ship and not outside of it because that way at least it has, you're safe that way. But
yeah, because if
mm,
it's their excursion and it's they're late, then they will wait. If not, you better start walking.
Mr. Sadie said you'd leave your ass. You have a canoe? Yeah, I don't think a canoe would make it in time, but
I, we've been to the Bahamas several times. The last time we went, we didn't even get off the ship.
see, I don't know if I
It,
would. I mean, I would
everybody else
want
got.
to.
I've seen everything. I've been to the straw market. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't been to the Pirate Museum. And when we go with the boys next year, um, we're doing a big family trip. Then we'll probably make it there. But I don't even get off the ship. There's so much to do on the ship while everybody else is off the ship.
Tom, you on the island of Bahamas now?
I wish.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, there is some.
Getting that
There is
sunshine.
one cruise ship. I can't remember what the name of it is. Not Four Seasons though.
That's
It's
a cruise.
expensive.
Four season yachts?
Yeah,
Really?
it's the Four Season Yachts. That's really. That's
That's
twenty
Tootie
four.
Tootie?
Oh, that's 24K kind of.
Oh, he got that money. So he's gonna take us on a cruise on a
Yeah,
yacht he's gonna rent out for us, right?
yeah. And knock on wood, we've not come off of a ship with COVID. We've always got we like when I had COVID the last time. It was when we came back from Panama. It's because my family was infected.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
my sons were, my in-laws were,
Mm.
everybody was infected, and they got it. We're not sure where they got it from. And it's something I tell my children is, being that Sasha works in the healthcare industry, Sergey works for the for he works for Goodwill. Uh, my niece works for the Salvation Army, and she runs the shelter. So y'all, these people are coming into contact with all kinds of people.
Right.
So that's the thing about having a job where you're out in the public like that. You don't know where this stuff comes from. You know what? I would like to have. I am not a Russian spy,
At least not today. It's
at
okay.
least not today. Das Vidanya. uh, I have been to Russia twice.
Now,
I'm
Lag
not a
has to worry about the
spy.
STDs because he's licking windows everywhere.
Who?
24 goes, it's the STDs you have to be careful for. I said, Lag needs to worry about those if he's licking windows everywhere.
You know,
Bless him. He got the short bus to work.
we, you know, I don't know how long you've been following us, but Lag is either 19 years old, he's a 19-year-old male living in his mother's basement,
Bless
or
him.
he's a 46-year-old mother of four, and his basement is where his office is, or her office and YouTube
Right, Kent?
channel's at.
Right? Just feel so sorry for little Lag. Bless his heart.
Lag has probably got more money than Todd does.
Probably.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere. I'm just saying,
You
when you're out
can.
in public more, the opportunity is there. And, you know, I will say I was vaccinated up to the first, booster, and I kept getting it. I mean, I had it 3 times after was fully vaccinated.
Did you listen to them that when they told you if you get the vaccine that you wouldn't get it anymore? I mean,
Yeah.
Todd, I thought Tom, I thought I told you about these people not to listen.
Well, we got it because of Roberta.
Oh,
And since then her transplant doctor has said, if you want to get the boosters or the new vaccines, get them. If you don't, I don't think you're going to be any worse off.
all right.
Because when it first came out, none of the transplant doctors knew what was going on, and so they were just going by what was coming down through the medical community.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got it, and um, we got them just on the safe side. But then after I got it 3 times, and the third time I thought I would never get rid of it, um, I just gave up on it. That's mine. Y'all feel free to do any way you want to. This is not a public service announcement or anything like that. I'm just saying. Um, but
Yeah, right.
anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone for 8 days,
Oh, well.
um, with Roberta and my youngest son, because we got some really good deals from the casino, because we gambled the last time. I'm serious. And we didn't spend a whole lot. We went to Panama Mall. We spent about $50 a day in gambling.
All right.
But when we looked back at our account to see how many points we had accrued, we had played like $4,800 a person, and that's winning and losing and winning and losing and winning and losing and winning and losing. So we're getting free drinks, and we got my son's using my free inside room, and Roberta and I have a balcony, and we paid more for it, paid extra for it. So
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
COVID comes from bats. So
Well, you hear that they got cows got bird flu now, right?
no, I haven't heard that.
Yes. I guess
But
it flew the cuckoo's nest and went to the cow. So
yeah, and swine flu.
yeah, it's like really, I'm just over it.
It just guess what?
Try fishing from the balcony. That would be kind of cool.
Doing what?
Fishing from the balcony.
That's against the law. I mean, that's
Oh,
against
dang
the
it.
rules. That will get you put off the ship.
Bird flu and cows now. 24. Yeah, that's what they were talking about.
But you know what? I'll go get me a steak tonight.
what I'm
You know
saying.
what? The way these
Whatever.
people drive, the way people drive in this damn city, you're just as likely to be killed in a car accident than more so than you will be eating a cow beef with that's been infected. You know?
Bridget wants to know if you're going on the Royal
No, we go care
group.
Carnival.
Ain't that where you go? Bridget is the Royal one.
She does Royal. She does the uppity one.
She the uppity one.
Yeah.
Some sort of bat, bird, swine. Who
And
do
I mean,
care? Exactly, John.
Kathy, my brother and sister in law and their family was supposed to go on a cruise last year, and my sister in law got real sick and she couldn't go. So my brother was going to cancel his part, their cabin, and my sister in law said, "No, why don't you get Tommy to go with you?" Yes, I'm still Tommy to family. Uh, it's so I went. I didn't see any difference. You know, to me, I just didn't see any difference because I don't sit in my room. I don't sit out on the balcony. We're going, and doing stuff. So the stuff that I came into contact with, I didn't see any difference.
Hmm.
Now they have a fabulous island with all these water park rides and all this kind of stuff, but that's extra. Royal Caribbean has a lot of stuff that people go on their ships and they find out that it's extra.
Good morning, Texas Bandit. So the carnival has more kids. Well, that they have one now. Who is that Virgin guy that does the planes?
Virgin
He has,
Atlantic.
yeah, he has one now where I think it's all adults.
Hmm.
But like I said, my son wants to go on one, but I don't know. I mean, I've been seeing freaking engines on fire, the freaking water's about to flip you over. It's like I don't. Then there was one they had pirates up that was trying to get onto one of these freaking
Yeah.
cruise ships. Like, no, I'll just stay home. Y'all keep posting pictures. I'll go through y'all.
You know, when we went to Panama in December, we went through the Panama locks,
Hmm.
and John, that
Cesspool, right?
is on Scott's morning show, Grumpy Old Picker or something, or whatever it is. He and his wife have been on it, went through the Panama Canal since we went on it, and but on our cruise, there were 66 kids, just 66 kids out of all the passengers, and it was definitely a gray-haired cruise. I mean, normally the ratio of kids to adults is a third. You know, there's a third kids to adults. There was 66. But when you lined up to go to the show, the shows or to the bingo or whatnot, um, the damn scooters were everywhere. Those little old ladies would run over you in a minute. But
See, that's why
it's
I'll say I'll just go down to Florida. I'm good. The broken hip cruise. Can't call it.
um, I mean, like I said, I mean, I like Royal
Come on.
Caribbean. It was nice. It was a nice ship, and I just instead of driving 9 hours to Port Canaveral, I drive 3 hours to Charleston. That makes it a lot better
That's
right
better,
there.
yeah.
And for like Bridget, who is driving from the wintry north, you know,
Yeah,
15 hours, Bridget.
something like that. See, 24, I don't know if I'd rather fly either these days. You're probably sucked out of a freaking wall that opens up.
They're having just,
You
excuse
only
me.
smell Bengay.
But you know, like the cruise ships, yes, they occasionally have problems.
All right. I think that's everything.
But you got to think about it. Like the Sunshine, which we're going in out of Charleston, they come in on Mondays and they leave on Mondays,
No.
and then they come back on Thursday and they leave again on Thursday. I mean, the it's oh, you cruise out of New York and New
Oh, you,
Jersey. Okay, I thought you went to Florida. Uh, we were thinking about taking a. We had been working on taking a cruise from Baltimore to Iceland, and couldn't get a cabin like we wanted, so we didn't take it. And we should be leaving like next week. Well, there's no cruises coming out of Baltimore because of the
no.
bridge.
Yeah.
Um, they're lucky
Ooh, Iceland.
because they do have a cruise out of or they did have a cruise out of Baltimore to
Hmm.
Iceland. It's like 15 days, and it's just something different. I mean, nobody you all the videos are about going to Alaska or to the Caribbean or someplace like that, and we just wanted to do something different. And but now the luckily the cruise ship that serves Baltimore was out. You know, they had already departed. Otherwise, that cruise ship would be stuck in port.
Oh wow.
So, um, I hate, it's a bad situation up there, and I hate it. And
Yeah.
um,
Well, I think they got one side that was open, but it's only so many, deep wise that only so many boats can come through.
when
But
we
it's not. I don't think no cruise is going to go through there.
when we y'all all crazy, nah. I like cruising.
Wait.
I would like to have the money. I would really, really like to have the money to be able to rent one of these mega yachts for a week
That'd be
and
nice.
take 14 of my closest couple friends with me. Uh, but when we were in Tampa, because we drove to Tampa and then we got on the ship and went to Panama and the Caymans and whatnot back in December. When we got back to Tampa, we were supposed to be off the ship at 7:30. We had not even entered the port at 7:30 because of the fog and the wind. And I did not know what happened, but you Floridians and people from that area, um,
Hey,
they
Beth.
had a bridge. They have this beautiful bridge that goes across the bay or the entrance to Tampa, and a barge knocked it down, and
Oh
like
wow.
50 people died and all this kind of stuff.
Holy
And so
crap.
now when the weather's bad, foggy and whatnot, they don't let ships enter or exit the port. We didn't get off the ship. We were supposed at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We had just gotten in our car and started heading back to Charlotte when we were supposed to be off the ship at 7:30. Anybody that has cruised knows that there was a lot of pissed off people because the people that flew in because they were supposed to start getting on the ship at 11 o'clock that morning.
Oh wow.
So people were like, and because the parking decks were still full, they couldn't let people park. So they were telling them to go find some place to hang out, you know.
Oh wow.
And there's areas of Tampa's that's really nice, and then there's some areas of Tampa, like over where Busch Gardens
Really
is
bad.
at. It's kind of dodgy looking.
Uh
Which I mean, that's the same way it is with Charlotte and Charleston, and you know those kind of places too. But uh, yeah, I bet Karen was furious,
oh. Oh, Park
Texas.
errands.
But you know
Right.
what? Like 2 weeks before that, the fog was so bad in New Orleans that the cruise ship coming back into New Orleans couldn't enter port, and it was like 8 o'clock in the evening before they finally got it to port and people started getting off the ship
Mm.
because of the fog. The fog was so bad.
That's a bad thing is you're kind of held to whatever's going on with that. That's why we like to drive now. I ain't worried about no ship, no airline. We'll just drive and get there. That way it's on our terms.
Yeah, I mean but the thing that I mean we really like about cruising is that you don't have to worry about hotels.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry, unpacking, unpacking. You don't have to worry about transportation between the areas. So you got to just take the good with the bad. But
Yeah.
knock on wood, we've not had any issues. And it don't matter what you do. I mean, hell, they're closing up half of Disney, getting rid of rides and everything else. I don't
Oh,
even want to
wow.
go now because they've got everything so closed.
I mean, I would like to try one once, but it's just I don't know. I'm just kind of right now. Everything's so sketchy right now.
I mean,
No lag, no fines yet. I mean, I've been dealing with doctors for the last few weeks, so I ain't not been looking too far. But we got yard sales that are starting to pop up. And husband's been looking at storage units, so hopefully we'll
storage
have
units.
yes, like we got room for storage
A
units.
blessing and a sin.
Right.
um, actually, um, oh my God.
I say I don't get no
Bridget,
personal butlers.
I just had an old man moment
No.
there. Bridget, I think it's more Disneyland than Disney
Yeah, don't
World
tell her about Disney and closing anything. She will have a heart attack.
because you have to read the article or listen to they say Disney, Haunted Mansion's closing, Disney. But then once you have to read the article or listen to the YouTube, and then you find out that it's Disneyland, not Disney World.
Kent, we're in the upper northeast and by the Tupelo area.
I mean, when it comes to um, I like to travel, and I'll at least go someplace once. And if I don't like it, I won't go back.
They get rid of all the walls in Epcot? Oh, Madison? Really? Flag, I thought you lived in Philadelphia.
Who?
Flag.
We
In
think that
Madison,
he
right?
lives in that area.
Oh, okay.
He's what's
He
going to
lives in the
happen is one of
basement.
these days we're going to
Oh,
the
construction walls.
construction walls.
Oh.
Um, one of these days we're all going to pool our money together and we're going to hire one of these hackers
And get him.
and find out where he's at. Yeah,
Yeah, where you
Bridget
live
have
at.
Bridget, have they opened up the
Is there any
Tron
other
ride
one?
in Disney World?
You have to thrift on the way down to Disney, that's for sure. You live in Cal. You don't live nowhere near me. Silly.
He lives someplace else.
He lives in his mom's
Allegedly,
basement.
he allegedly lives someplace on the East Coast, and we think around
I'm
Philadelphia.
fixing to start have to wonder if Lag's hiding bodies in the basement.
Good morning, baseball. It's no
Never
telling.
tell a
Like I
son of
said,
my
Lack
mom
could be a
people
19-year
are
year old
funny.
boy, or he's a 46-year-old mother of four.
Right.
I mean, you just
Vintage.
never
We
know.
we live right outside of Benton County. Yeah, we're not very far from there.
And you're
But
an
no,
hour
that's
away
not. That
from
doesn't sound
Memphis,
something. Yeah, we're about an hour and 40 minutes away from Memphis
right?
and South Haven area. My son still lives in that area, so we're about an hour and 40 minutes outside of there. But we live outside of Tupelo. We're more in the county area, country area, and so
One of my gaming buddies is from Memphis,
Anissa.
and he talks about Memphis has gone to hell in a
Oh,
handbasket
it
in the last
has.
15 years.
Well, the sad part is Memphis is trying to come over to South Haven, acting like they still up in Memphis, and South Haven and Olive Branch ain't playing, so they're gonna be going to jail really quick. So we have a lot of them that are like that. But it's like y'all better stay in Memphis because 201 Poplar ain't nothing compared to what they're gonna be doing to you over here in Olive Branch, Minnesota County. They learning.
Um, Good morning, Anissa.
Oh,
I have a
Nissa.
question for you.
Nissa, Nissa.
You posted in Facebook that you were cleaning up
She don't have an Airbnb.
well, that she
Is
was
that what you're
clean.
talking about?
Yeah, that she's cleaning the Airbnb. I didn't know whether she was doing acting as a cleaning service.
Can I leak this stuff? Don't
Do
tell
you
me.
do that? Do you have a cleaning service on the side? You clean for one. Okay.
But it's
Um,
probably messy. I wonder how messy those get
well,
sometimes.
we're going to get to that in just a second because I'm curious. um, my neighbor next door has one,
Shh, we can't tell nobody.
and apparently they pay some fairly good money to the housekeeping because
Hmm.
it's just like a lady and her daughter that live not too far away from it, and they come over and clean, between guests and whatnot.
I'm the same way, Bridget. Iris. Shh, don't talk about Iris, man.
So my question, Anissa, is what is the funkiest stuff that you've had to clean? Apparently, you were vacuuming the refrigerator and the oven because I've got friends that back in their youth they worked in they worked in hotels as maids and whatnot, and they would talk about some of the craziest stuff that they would find.
Oh, well, that is pretty. See, we always leave ours. It almost seems like we leave it cleaner than when we got it, but
Well,
we
that's
24 says there's no security. They have like these little door things you can buy to put on inside the little lock area, where the thing meets the little hole. You can put that in there, and then you can get there's like a little stick you can stick inside up underneath the door handle. So that way, if someone has a key to it, they can't get in. So there's certain ways. Now, I look for hidden cameras. So no, I got that down pat too. But I love Airbnbs. I like them better than I do hotels.
well, it's like this, Kathy. If they've got hidden cameras and they want to see all of this goodness
Right? Go for it.
naked,
You dummy.
just remember when you sue for damages, I'm going to get you for hidden cameras. you know.
Yeah, 24. I've seen the videos on YouTube. That's why we're real careful when we bring all of our stuff with us. So, but I mean, I like the Airbnbs better. My stomach just turned. Theirs probably will too, Kent. So
I'm
he
just
just
saying, there's a lot of goodness here. you
are not
know,
supposed to.
if you want to deal with it, you are free to deal with it.
Right.
Um, I was just curious about are people that dirty? Because when we stay in a hotel or we're on a cruise ship, we keep our room neat. We put our trash in the trash cans, and if we've taken food,
Okay.
got food out and brought it back to the room. If our good morning, Beth. If our trash cans are full, we'll call front desk and ask somebody send somebody up to empty them. You know, I just I don't understand people being nasty in, and I'm talking about nasty as in
Yeah.
dirt
Real bad.
and
Wow.
trash and stuff like that in something like that because like my neighbors, if they get a report back from their cleaning lady that the place was exceptionally dirty or that kind of stuff, shut up, Kent.
I know, right?
If I'm having that effect on you, son, you really need some therapy. Uh, um,
Lord have mercy.
they will block
Smell
them
like dry
on
cake.
renting their unit again.
Yeah. I know
Um,
my aunt or my cousin owns one of those condos down in Florida, and
right.
they rent those out, and their cleaning service it's crazy, but you'd be and people sell or buy or steal a bunch of that stuff like the toasters and blenders and stuff like that to sell them, and I mean they have to have the insurance, but it's crazy. but I like those condos too down there. So,
I mean,
but
it's. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're gonna deal with. You're
can't
gonna
deal
deal
with
with
lag today.
trash, and that's what I'm considering. People that still are stealing appliances and stuff like that out of uh, out of rentals and things. But like I said, Joe and Tammy, if they get a bad report from their cleaning lady about the condition of the place,
Yeah,
then they are blocked and they're not uh, they don't rent from them again.
that's what I'm saying, Kent. Anissa, did you, you know, if you find it, it's yours.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's a lady on YouTube that does cleaning for VRBO and
Hmm.
or for Airbnb, and she talks about she finds
Oh
money
well.
and stuff like that. The last thing we do before we lock the door for the final time leaving our room is we sweep everything under the bed. Not sweep literally, but we look under the beds. We look in all the drawers to make sure we're not leaving stuff behind. And a bag of weed. I mean, a nickel bag nowadays costs you $500. You know, I mean, who leaves that stuff laying around
Yeah, some
or
people
forgets it?
they smoke too much. That's why they forgot it. Most people don't. Yeah, they don't. I ain't giving it back.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
Bridget, you know you love going to the happiest place in the world and be
Mhm.
surrounded by all that happiness. I have not been to Disney World since
Oh,
1977.
dry cake for you. No, I don't think I'd stay at Lag's bed and basement. I'd be scared. You ain't coming back, John.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm afraid that you might not ever come back out. You know, it's been years. I mean, I was like 21 years old, and my parents had a houseboat, a 40-foot houseboat, down on Lake Wylie. And I went down there. They were going to have like my aunt, two of my aunts and their husbands come down, and for a weekend, and they were just going to stay out on the lake all weekend. So I went down there to clean up and get everything opened up because you know how things like that, RVs, boats, they get a musty smell in it if they're not opened up. So I went down to open up all the windows and we had a neighbor kid that was across lived across the street from us who was like 13 at the time. He used to do a lot of chores for my dad, so he went with me and we were like washing everything down and getting the bugs down and everything. And uh, on the way up there, we saw a couple of life vests sitting in the middle of the road. So I stopped. He said, "Stop, stop! There might be pot in one of the pockets." We stopped, and there was a big old bag of pot in that life vest. And I'm thinking to myself, somebody, because it was early in the morning. I said, "There's some bass fishermen that are unhappy this morning because they're not catching any fish, and their life vest and their pot was gone."
The hell, the fish probably unhappy too. That's probably where they get it from.
That's
Drop
right.
it all in there.
So, I'm old now, and he's old too. And we laugh about that every time we see each other at funerals and things like that. We have to go in the corner and laugh about it. But,
Lord.
those are just the memories that people don't have nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
just because of the situation. Now, most people, like where we go at, we kept our houseboat at, used to be like you made sure you had a full tank of gas before in the car before you went to the marina because there was nothing up there. There was a bait, a bait and tackle store, and during the winter months it was closed.
All right.
Nowadays it's 4 lane with a turning lane down the middle. Um, Once 7-Eleven or Circle K or a couple of Walmarts, it is just built up through there, and
They'll do
yeah,
it like that.
Nissa, you don't smoke anything. God, she doesn't eat
Don't eat
anything
hot
bad.
dogs.
She doesn't eat anything bad. She doesn't smoke. Do you drink, Anissa? She probably knocks back a daggum big 40 like there's no tomorrow.
Well, Tom, I
Uh,
might have to get off here. I got to run to the doctor. I got to
okay,
take care of
well,
a few
it's 10
things.
o'clock. I got to go too. Uh,
Sorry, I don't mean to ruin the fun.
no, I try to keep it down to 10 to an hour because I have stuff to do too. I'm sorry this has not been a retail show. I've been catching up with Kathy.
Sorry. I
For
did it
those,
on Tom's channel too, or Todd's channel too, so it's okay.
it's we haven't
Maybe
really
next time.
we really haven't talked in a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. It has been a long time.
Sorry,
So
guys.
I want to thank everybody for coming. Does anybody have any reselling real quick like before I shut this puppy down? Um, no?
We did a little bit. We talked about vintage and the Goodwill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, we did a little bit.
so we got
So
that in there.
I guess I'll be here tomorrow since Todd's out of town.
I can't
And
help you with
so,
taxes.
do I?
She goes, I need help with reselling taxes.
Ah,
No.
jeez.
Yep.
That's the reason I take everything to my little guy, and he
List,
tells
ship,
me how
source, and
much
repeat.
he calls and tells us to sit down before he tells us how much we got to pay. So,
Right.
uh, anyway, thank you, Kathy, for coming
You're
in, and it was
welcome.
great seeing you.
It
You
was
need
you
to
too.
tell. I know Marcel is working during the day. We got to get together at night.
Say hey, Marcel.
Is he in the closet?
Yeah, that's the closet. That's the
Mar-
office.
Marcel, say, Marcel, get out the closet.
He said, get out the closet. That's where he works now.
uh, but thanks for coming in here. It's great
You're
seeing you
welcome.
again and talking with you again. Thank you for coming in and hanging
Thank
out for
y'all.
this nonsense.
He does, don't he?
And we will see you, I guess, tomorrow.
If you ain't got anybody tomorrow, I'll probably hang out with you tomorrow too.
Okay.
All right.
I wish
Bye.
Anissa would get her a camera so she could come here with
She
us.
needs to.
Yeah. All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.